I know, I'm crazy, can't help it. I'm aware of the fact that Bomberman's chances of being one of the last for Ultimate's DLC doesn't even exist anymore. But this isn't about whether he won't be DLC or he won't be DLC. This is more about closure, let's put it that way. But why is Bomberman my highly requested character to get in? Well, he was actually the first character I wanted to see get into Smash. Bomberman 64 was the first Bomberman game I played, and less than a year later, Smash was announced on the Nintendo website. I was thinking, hey, he would be great for this! He's owned by Nintendo, right? That's what my stupid younger self thought without doing any research. But at the very least, Bomberman 64 was published by Nintendo outside of Japan. Same for Bomberman Hero. So it seemed like at the very least, he had close ties to Nintendo if they were willing to publish those games. And it turns out, I wasn't wrong. Was I, Wario Blast? Let's begin! Bomberman's first game was released on the NES or Famicom in 1983. Since then, he's been on numerous systems. Heck, he was even on the Virtual Boy! I didn't even think that was possible, but yes, he had a puzzle game on the thing. How many of you had a game on that system, huh? From 1990 to 2010, Bomberman had a release almost every year on so many consoles. Up to that point, he had been created and owned by Hudson Soft. They were one of the few third-party companies that strongly supported Nintendo during the N64 days. Heck, they were the ones that did the Mario Party series. Remember, Nintendo didn't just let anyone touch their stuff unless they were legally obligated to because of bad decisions. Not only that, but Bomberman just felt like anytime a new console was announced, he'd show up in some way, shape, or form. Like a dependable friend. He was even going to have a game on the 3DS, until that fateful day when Hudson Soft was absorbed into Konami, and they had no idea what to do with him for 7 years. But thankfully, he did return in Super Bomberman R, which was first released as a Nintendo Switch launch title. Like I said, a dependable friend. Honestly, and this might be a bit shocking, but I'm not one for this style of Bomberman. I'm more for the 64, Second Attack, Generation, Jetters, and even Tournament on the GBA, as I feel those games have a much better sense of exploration, puzzle solving, and just have a bit more meat on their bones. While I wouldn't say the Bomberman series is critically acclaimed, it has sold quite a number of them. His NES game sold over 1 million units alone, and is well known for his multiplayer modes. I mean, hey, Smash is known for multiplayer madness, Bomberman is known for multiplayer madness, it just made sense to me to put them together. Even if it's not the way I wanted it, I still like to believe they treated him with a little extra respect. He was the first third-party assist trophy to be shown without a playable series to represent it. He's the only third-party assist trophy to be in the challenges board. His Mii Costume is the first one to have multiple colors, and Sakurai did talk about him over all the other costumes that were shown at the time. I'd like to believe that at some point he'll be fully playable with his own moveset, stage, and music. It won't be during Ultimate, but until that day comes, I can always speculate and give a little more insight for those who don't know how he can be implemented. Which reminds me, I've gotten a comment asking why Bomberman won't be in DLC. Yes, after the Mii Costume came out. So yeah, it's best I don't skip over that. I really shouldn't have to explain this, but I will. Last time this happened with the King K. Rool Mii Costume, I was thinking, he still has a chance because of the ballot! Maybe the costume was chosen months in advance, and if he won the ballot, then he could be promoted! However, there is no ballot this time. All of the characters have already been picked well in advance, even for the sake of argument that if they made a Mii Costume for him and be a playable character, it wouldn't make much sense unless it was done at the same time. As if to say, you can get this deluxe fighter pack with the character, stage, music, and spirit board for $5.99! Or the budget Mii Costume for spare change. So yeah, there's no reason for me to believe that they are really going to try and surprise players or something like that. I got the Mii Costume, I love it! I wish it came with a little more, like a music track and at least one bomb move, but I'll take what I can get. However, we also don't know what's going to happen with the future of Smash. Anything could change, we don't know who's going to be in charge of the next one. Whenever that comes out, I'm going to say... well, whenever Nintendo's next system comes out. And if Super Bomberman R is still the only game that's been out since then yeah, that's probably going to hurt his chances a bit. Maybe. It's kinda hard to tell with third parties. In most, if not all of his games, Bomberman uses bombs to solve puzzles to either clear a level or beat a boss. So take a good guess as to what most of his moves and specials will rely on. Other than that, his personality seems to be different based on which game you're playing, but at the core, they all value justice and are determined to save the day. Now, besides bombs and the many different types and uses of bombs, let's go over how he could be designed. And no, I still haven't played Super Smash Flash 2, and I don't know how he plays in DreamX TV The World Fighters. But what I do know is, he has kicks, punches, and I'm going to go off of what Nintendo Jackson Push Dustin said a long time ago in the Decidueye video about how Sakurai tends to design a character based on a signature or noticeable aspect of that character. For example, this is why Mewtwo has a lot of attacks with his long tail instead of using other psychic attacks. So what stands out the most about Bomberman in terms of design? Yep, that giant TV-sized head. I know he doesn't use his head to attack enemies in the games, but this is going to be for certain moves and not his entire moveset. Smash does take liberties with the characters after all. So as a recap, focus on bombs, kicks, punches, and the use of his head. There were characters known as Kara Bombs that were basically like Pokemon to this series, and they would give Bomberman an ability he didn't have. But for the sake of consistency, they won't be used for the moveset. But I wouldn't be angry if they somehow were someday. As for how he would feel, I want to say about the same height as Mega Man, around the weight of Sonic, about the walk speed of Pac-Man, around the run speed of Mega Man, and the jump height being a little less than Mario. Bomberman can jump pretty high, but he doesn't do it as often as Mario, so there you go. He can't wall jump, wall cling, or crawl. He also can't swim, so he'll be one of those characters that takes a little damage when they're in water. Also, as a small side note, I do understand why most of the stuff they used for Bomberman in Smash, be it his spirit, logo, and music track in the presentation, are from Super Bomberman R. However, if the moveset were only based on that game, it would be very limited. So other games, mostly from 64 to Jetters, will be the basis of his attacks, and the main goal is to overwhelm his opponents with bombs and usually try to trap them, much like the multiplayer games. So without further ado, let's get to the moves! His neutral special would have 3 functions. The primary one is he drops a bomb right in front of him or behind him if he's still walking. Let's say hypothetically, and for the sake of balancing, he can have 3 bombs out at a time. The next function is, if you're close enough to one and press B again, he'll pick up the bomb. Or if you hold down the B button, he'll take out a bomb, and for that last function, if you continue holding the B button while holding a bomb, then he'll pump up the bomb, making it double in size with double the range, double the damage, and double the knockback. It should also be noted that if Bomberman is hit by his own bombs, he'll actually take a little more damage than the opponent would. And that includes his pumped up bombs. He might be a master at handling them, but he certainly can't handle the damage. This means you can't be reckless, and have to be careful with what you're doing. The damage and knockback of a regular bomb is about the same as Lucas's PK Fire, but a pumped up bomb will do double for both. Also, for the record, I keep imagining the explosions being more like his Bomberman 64, Generations, and Jetters version, where it's a sphere and not the traditional cross-shaped ones. But if you can imagine the cross-shaped one instead, that's fine. If they use the cross-shaped one, then I really hope they balance it well. Or maybe they can make the smaller one spherical, and then maybe have the pumped up bombs be cross-shaped instead. I think that would be a good mix. The side B is a bit different. It's Bomb Throw. He quickly throws a bomb. However, if there are already 3 bombs out, then only the animation happens. Think of it like Olimar and Alf when they don't have any Pikmin. You can even angle it a little like Yoshi's up B. If the bomb hits something besides the ground, it'll go off automatically, but only as a regular bomb. Pumped up bombs in the down B special won't go off automatically. This move can be reflected, and for a while I was wondering if it could also be caught and thrown back at Bomberman, but based on the size of the other bombs, I don't think that would make much sense. And remember, he takes extra damage and knockback from his own bombs. Oh, and if he's next to a bomb that he put on the ground, he'll just throw that one instead. The up B can be one of 2 main ideas. The first option is either the Bomber Copter or Bomber Jet from Bomberman Hero, allowing him to fly upwards while dropping bombs below him. But after a certain amount of time, he goes into freefall. Or the other option, and I like this one since it continues the whole bomb motif, the Wind Bomb. Going forward, I think I should say that any elemental bombs I put on here will not damage Bomberman. unless it's from another Bomberman. It detonates right away, blowing Bomberman upwards, but goes into free fall, or an animation of him waving his arms around with a shocked look on his face. This move not only has a windbox on anyone else who gets close enough to it, but it can also damage others as well, but only minimal. It's meant as more of an edge guarding tool, as well as being a portable windbox. This should be very devastating in the right hands. The down B special is, well, a remote bomb. Yes, it's another Link and Snake situation. However, there is a huge difference here. Huge. You see, this bomb can also be picked up and pumped up. However, for balancing purposes, you can only have one remote bomb at a time, as well as only one pumped up bomb, so you can't have one regular pumped up bomb and one pumped up remote bomb. It does take a while for the bomb to be pumped up, say about 3 to 5 seconds, and in its pumped up form, it can't be moved around. It stays in place until it either detonates, takes too much damage, and it'll go off on its own after about 20 seconds. Would you like to take a guess as to what I'm going to give him for his smash attacks? Yes! More explosions! Forward smash, Earth Bomb from the second attack. He throws an Earth Bomb in front of him that immediately goes off and creates a large pillar of lava and flame that quickly rises and falls. Up smash will be the Ice Bomb based off of the second attack and jitters. He throws the bomb over his head. The bomb goes off and ice is formed over his head that rises for a little bit before exploding, which creates the knockback. Similar to the continual damage of Mega Man and Bowser Jr.'s up smash. Down smash is Lightning Bomb based off of the one from second attack. It's basically Robin's down smash where there's electricity on the ground and you don't want to touch it. And just like Robin's down smash, it may have a stun effect before the opponent is launched. For the neutral attack, it's a 3-jab attack, a punch, a kick, finished by a headbutt. Nothing too fancy here, just want it to be a little different from the other jabs, though it's pretty much the same speed, damage, and knockback as the others. The forward tilt is a bomb punch. It's a stronger punch than the one in his jab, but needs a few extra frames to use it. The thing to keep in mind is that some of his tilts and dash attack can launch his bombs with different launch distances for each. The bomb punch punches the bomb horizontally, about the distance of 2 battlefield platforms. Meanwhile, if anybody else actually tries to use them, they can't pick up the bomb, and hitting them is about the same effect as when you're trying to hit one from the assist trophy. The down tilt is the bomb kick. He extends his leg all the way out, kinda like Ganondorf's, except it won't be nearly as powerful, but it will be a little quicker. The bomb kick slides the bomb across the stage until it hits something or the player inputs a specific button. More detail on that later. The up tilt is a headbutt, basically like Pac-Man's up tilt from 3DS and Wii U. Pretty much has the same properties too. A bomb in front of him will be launched directly above him and then land right where it was, unless it hits something. The dash attack is a headbutt tackle. Rams his head into the opponent, but lands on the ground and has to get back up. Good launching power, big end lag. Also launches a bomb diagonally. Honestly, when it comes to aerials, I'm open to suggestions, but I'll do what I can here. Mostly just taking moves from other characters. For the neutral air, he spins around like Olimar's and does multiple hits, much like Olimar. The forward air is a spike like DK's where he puts his fist together to spike an enemy. The down air is a headbutt spike similar to the Mii Brawler's custom move Head-On Assault, but only in the air. It's a fast full attack like Bowser and Banjo-Kazooie. The back air is a back drop kick like Mario and Bowser's back air. It's a little less powerful than Mario's back air, but it can still have some good killing potential. The up air is a bomb toss. Bomberman throws a bomb upwards that detonates after a short time and distance, or if it hits an opponent. Honestly, I'm kinda stuck here. I don't know if I want this to be a killing option like Zelda's up air, or if I want this to be a juggling option. I'll let you guys decide that one for yourselves in the comments. Bomberman grabs you with both hands and headbutts the opponent. The forward throw is a bomb punch, the down throw is a bomb kick, the back throw simply throws the opponent backwards in a similar animation to Diddy Kong's back throw, and the up throw throws them upwards along with a bomb that hits the opponent. Back throw is probably the one with the best potential to KO an opponent, but not until it's at a high enough percent, like 140. Pretty simple stuff here. Moving on. The final smash is Revenge Bomber. Bomberman uses the black hole bomb to suck in a nearby opponent and activate a cutscene final smash where the enemy falls into a Bomberman stadium grid and is trapped by bombs in all directions, while Bomberman pelts them with bombs using the vehicle that is outside of the stage. And finishing with one giant super pumped up bomb! Pretty simplistic and self-explanatory for this one. The important thing to keep in mind here is, he doesn't really have any major gimmicks. It's more like the little touches that make him feel more like he's from his games. You've already seen how his tilts can move bombs with more control than the other characters, but that's only one little touch. Another one is, he can footstool jump his own bombs that are on the ground. Yes, this is in some of the games. Just one of those little touches that help make the character feel more like they have come right out of their world and into the world of Smash. And no, none of the other characters can do that with his bombs, except someone else playing as Bomberman. When he kicks a bomb, you can press the shield button to stop the bomb right there. This is done in a number of other games as well. It helps give him more control over his main weapon. The other one is, I've noticed that in his games, a bomb never explodes in his hands. They don't go off until they've landed, and if he picks them up, the timer resets on them. So that's something I was thinking. Whenever he holds a bomb, be it his own, an item, or from another character, it doesn't blow up while he's holding it. I'm not sure if it would reset, but I guess that would be for the best. That way, a person playing Bomberman can't just pick up a bomb about to go off and then hold onto it forever, or use it at just the right time. Just trying to balance it as best I can without actually being able to test it. Alright, here we go, the little details. You know, everything outside the attacks and abilities. Let's start with the taunts. Taunt 1 spins around, puts his hand in the air with a happy face. Taunt 2 gives a peace sign with a wink. It's based on the Bomberman Jitters anime opening. Taunt 3 gives off a determined pose, such as the one from the cover of Super Bomberman R. Victory poses, jumps into the air with his fist high and says, "I did it!" This is used in quite a number of his games. Number 2, he polishes a bomb. He doesn't really do it that much, but the one time I saw him do it, I kinda thought that was interesting. Number 3, spins around, puts his arm up in the air and says, "I guess all my training paid off." The victory music is either the stage clear from Bomberman 64 or Generation, since they sound very similar.
Area clear!
Or it could be the stage clear from Super Bomberman R.
Goal!
The series icon would be... take a guess. Stage entrance. A bomb explodes and he lands where the bomb exploded, or he jumps off one of the ships he uses. The splash screen could either be Bomberman blasts into battle, or Bomberman explodes into battle, though I think the first one is more preferred. The punch-out banner says Bombing Master or Master of Explosives. I would have said the Blaster Master, but I don't want people to confuse it for the game that has nothing to do with Bomberman. The stage. Bomber Stadium. Based on the stages from the multiplayer modes. The stage is randomly generated to have a different look and traps for each map. Small but simple. It'll have either conveyor belts, trapdoors, sliding floors, etc. It might not even have anything. However, in the background from time to time, a Bomberman will be in the vehicles shooting out bombs. And if for some reason you're playing with the time on, and it gets to 1 minute left, blocks will start falling down and it will cause massive knockback and damage. Reminiscent of the falling blocks that would instantly kill a player or CPU that got hit by it in the versus modes. For the stage music, I'll say between 10 to 15, but I'm going to keep it at an even 12. At least, that's assuming they pick other tracks that aren't just from Super Bomberman R. And yes, while I did a video on this a while back, some of those choices probably won't work on the main stage, such as White Glacier and Aquanet. Green Gardens could have a chance if it gets a remix though. But for the most part, I think it'll have more of the boss battle music as well as the battle mode music that will make up most of the list. And for those wondering, you really don't want to know my opinion on Hero's soundtrack. Redial, I feel, could only work if it gets something like a synthetic rock mix with a much faster tempo. Something like Flashman's remix. Otherwise, I highly doubt it would fit the fast-paced action of Smash. Now, I wasn't sure about adding music from Jitters as that game was based on an anime, however, we did get the Advent Children remix of One Winged Angel. I can let that one slide since it's been done in the music part already. But for another part later on, I won't be so sure. Next up, the alt colors. Normally, I don't do the alt colors because it can be really hard to take a guess what the other colors are going to be unless there's 7 other characters that would fit that spot perfectly. And wouldn't you know, Super Bomberman R has exactly that. However, I don't think those alts would depict the personalities of those characters, as there's way too much animation, as well as the taunts and victory animations, that could conflict with each other. Of course, there's also Plan B, which is when they used to customize Bomberman by giving him different costumes. such as a knight, a pirate, a spaceman, etc, etc. But they'll probably go with the other 7 Bomberman colors. I completely forgot about Classic Route for Lloyd, though I'm sure it would have been something along the lines of sword fighters or fighting the characters based on the spirits. But I'm not going to make that mistake this time. Bomberman's classic route will be bombs away. You'll be going up against characters that have bombs, and you'll always be up against multiple opponents. However, they can attack and hurt each other, so it'll kind of be more of a free-for-all. Here's the lineup. Link, Young Link, and Toon Link in the first round. Samus and Dark Samus in the second. Mr. Game & Watch and Bowser Jr. in the third. Snake and Sheik in the fourth. Duck Hunt and Inkling in the fifth. Mii Gunner and Mega Man in the 6th, and the final will be against 3 other Bombermen. What, did you want to go up against Master Hand and Crazy Hand again? Oh, and bombs will occasionally appear during each match. For the Mii costumes, honestly I'm not really sure how many Mii costumes you can have. I think they'd probably just give us a Max costume and, if we're lucky, a Pommy hat, and they'd call it a day. As much as I would like to see a regular Mii costume, I'm not getting my hopes up for that. Though I would probably die laughing if they came out with a Mujo Mii costume. Now for the Spirit Board, and oh man, this was a hard one because I basically had to do 2 of them. I feel like if they only focused on Super Bomberman R, then we lose a lot of characters that have been with the series for years. So let's get that one over with first. Magnet Bomber. Red Alt Lucas. Starts off with a Gust Bellows. Golem Bomber. Orange Alt DK. He'll be a giant for this match. Phantom Bomber. Dark Alt Snake. Likes using Down B special. Karaoke Bomber. Black Yellow Alt Peach. She will suddenly have a final smash. The assist trophy of Callie and Mari may also help her. Plasma Bomber. I'll say Johto Hat Alt Pikachu. Floor is electric. Bugler. White Hair Alt Ganondorf. He's a giant and black holes will spawn. Max. I struggled with this one for a while, but ultimately decided on Dark Toon Link Alt. Prefers using down special Bomb. Bomb has increased power. And finally, Bomberman Brothers. Face off against the 8 different colored Bomberman Alts. Oh, and if it wasn't obvious, bombs will spawn for all spirit battles. Now that's just the way for Super Bomberman R. I'm hoping something more like this gets used instead. First up, Higgy Higgy Bandit. Mii Brawler. Easily distracted by items. Pommy. Yellow Alt Kirby. Starts with a bunny hood. Professor Ein. Light Blue Dr. Mario. Prefers to stay at a distance. Daybreak and Dragoon items will spawn. Mujo. Cyan Alt Captain Falcon. Likes to taunt. Now, this one has little chance of making it, but I would go crazy for it. Regulus. Mii Brawler. Favors the side special, Onslaught. Has increased damage and knockback. I would love to put in the characters from Bomberman Jetters, but I'm not entirely sure if they would include any of them. Music was one thing that they already did, but spirits is another field, and I'll have to leave that one as debatable. And then of course we have the Max and Bomberman Brothers to face off against, and with that, we'll just call it a day. Whew, there we go. I've made Bomberman movesets before in the past, but this one I feel is more defined and really helps to bring out what Bomberman can bring to the table. I think he would fit nicely right next to Sonic, Mega Man, and Pac-Man as third-party reps that just belong in Smash. I could see Rayman there too, but I have no idea what to do for a moveset for him. But that'll do it for this video. If you have any ideas of your own for what Bomberman could do, or anything else mentioned in this video, please let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you guys in another video. Later, everyone!